Well, after several months on the sidelines, watching rugby from afar, I've started to write about rugby in more detail. But I've been asked to take a look at some of the latest and very best of National League rugby. You'll remember that that's tiers 3 and 4 of English rugby. Normally semi-professional, played across the country. National One sees some incredible journeys for the teams. And to be absolutely honest, sometimes what looks to be a relatively straightforward game for one of the league leaders can become very difficult for them if it involves significant travel. Just point to one this weekend. Oh, sorry, not this weekend, actually, the 6th of December. And that's Plymouth Albion travelling north to Sedgley Park Tigers. Now, looking at the results so far this season, looking at the league table, instinct, probability, and even that good old artificial intelligence tell you that it's going to be a Plymouth Albion victory. However, that long journey, however it's done, whether it's cars, trains, buses, however it's done, it's a long journey. And it's time of year when weather can impact travel. It's a very tortuous journey. The M1, the M6, the M5, the M62, they're all pretty difficult roads, whichever way you travel. So, it should be Plymouth Albion. However, on a personal level, if I'm looking at that game, I think with all that travel, with a Christmas crowd at Park Lane, Sedgley Park need to get back to winning ways. It could just be the upset of the round. So my prediction would be Sedgley Park Tigers by 5. I thought I'd start to do weekly dives into National League rugby. You know, that league that certainly refuses to sit still. Top teams keep swapping places, the upsets keep coming, and the last 3 rounds have given us some absolutely cracking games. But I want to be a little bit more playful and get into predictions. My predictions, and I think I'm going to pit myself against artificial intelligence. And let's see how we get on. So, first and foremost, we will be looking at National League One and the fixtures for the 6th of December. And I hope that it's going to give you some clues if you play prediction games, fantasy leagues at your local club, or even at the recently launched NLR prediction game. And every week I will actually review my prediction alongside that of artificial intelligence and see who is winning. That could be a really interesting one. And I do promise that I won't fall for the garbage in, garbage out trick. I will feed AI with the correct results, the correct league table. And hopefully AI doesn't make it up, because everything I read in the press tells me that AI has a habit of making things up. So we shall wait and see. So Bishop Stortford versus Dings Crusader. Interesting one, this. Bishop Stortford have had a pretty chaotic 3 weeks. Couple of losses, a win, plenty of tries scored, but equally plenty conceded. Dings, crumbs, they've had some interesting games. Surprised me that they were beaten by Clifton, and more so that they were beaten by Leeds Tykes. However, they're not conceding that many points. So what does it look like? Well, when I asked artificial intelligence said Bishop Stortford by 12 points. My view is that it's going to be Dings by 10. And the next one, well, that's Clifton versus Tonbridge Judinians. I tend to think Clifton are a hard team to read, but they've had some good results recently, and they're scoring tries. And I do like the speed in which they get the ball out wide. I really do. I saw that firsthand when they played Sedgley Park. Tonbridge Judinians, however, did a job on Sedge. Wow, absolutely hammered them. I think it was 56-0. But then I've followed that up with losses to the likes of Sale and Leeds Tykes. They seem to like high-scoring games. So on that basis, you'd have to say Tonbridge could beat anybody on their day. So when I fed the information into AI, it let me know that AI predicted Clifton by 5. I'm going to go Tonbridge by 10. Next one up, Leeds Tykes versus Birmingham Moseley. And let's face it, Leeds Tykes have suddenly woken up. They've had some gutsy performances in the last 3 weeks. Their attack seems to be improving every week. So, how are they going to fare against Birmingham Moseley, who surprised me that they lost narrowly to Sedgley Park, and it was a close game. But given the hammering that Sedge had taken the week before, I really thought Birmingham Moseley would have turned them over. They're undoubtedly competitive, but I think the bottom line for me is they're not actually putting games away. So AI are predicting Leeds Tykes by 8. I'm actually going to go Birmingham Moseley by 3. Then there's Leicester Lions v Rosslyn Park. Top 3 versus bottom 3. Lions have been finding it difficult, home and away. And they do seem to struggle late in the game. That's just one thing I have noticed looking at reports in the rugby paper, some of the excellent work that Chris Hill does with Talking Rugby Union, and some of the review shows that you can find on National League Rugby. But given where Rosslyn Park sit in the league, at the summit almost, had some rather close games of late. And with that, I just wonder. However, me wondering and then actually predicting is a different story. For AI, well, AI has got the view that it's going to be Rosslyn Park by at least 15. And I'm going to take a similar approach. I think it'll be Rosslyn Park by 10. Then we move on to Rams versus Rotherham. Now, this could well be seen as a game of the weekend of the 6th of December. Remember, 6th of December. And if you are liking what you're seeing here, please do add a comment, hit like, and of course, subscribe. It all helps. It really does. Rams' recent form been pretty good. But you've got to say Rotherham are flying at the moment. And whether it's tight wins or big wins, they're winning them home and away. And that gives me the sense that they are the side really driven by the prospect of promotion. Can't underestimate Rams at home, but I do think it's going to be very tight. AI is predicting Rotherham by 7. I'm going to go Rams by 3. Moving on, we've got Sale FC versus Blackheath. Should be another belter, to be fair. I do quite like the results that Sale have been getting over the last month. And I find Blackheath quite difficult to judge at the moment. But they've got it in their locker to win big if they need to. And I do think there'll be a level of confidence having beaten Sedge. So let's face it, they can pack a punch. What does AI think of those punches? Well, AI takes a view that Sale FC at home is going to be Sale FC by 6. I'm going to take a slightly different approach, and I'm going to go Blackheath by 3. The one I mentioned at the top, Sedge versus Plymouth Albion. Now, AI is effectively saying that this is going to be Plymouth Albion by at least 14. And I do think that some injuries have caused Sedge to struggle over the last few weeks, but they don't seem to be getting the injured players back. I think they're incredibly lucky to have Ollie Glass in the back line. He's been absolutely superb on every occasion I've watched him. But, Plymouth are well coached, well funded, play decent style of rugby. Have they got it in them to be at the top of the league at the end of the season? I think they're just going to fall short. That journey from Plymouth to Sedge, I think, disrupts the best in the business. So whilst AI may be Plymouth Albion by 14, I'm not. I'm Sedge by 5. So the weekend of the 6th of December could definitely tighten things up. Particularly if Rams were to push Rotherham. Whatever happens, it's going to be a brilliant round of rugby. And I hope my predictions give you a bit of fun in looking at your predictions. And next time, let's see who won, me or AI. Going to be interesting, but I'll be sure to share that with you. For now, you've been watching Senior Mash, Talking Rugby Union, and in particularly, Talking Predictions. If you like what you're seeing, thumbs up, send me a comment, help me improve, and most of all, do subscribe, whether it's to Substack, YouTube, or any of Talking Rugby Union's social channels. Very best. Enjoy your rugby.